When ignoring the epidemic of white-on-white crime, the white media and the white community at large can often be found sitting around trying to take their minds off their own white issues by focusing on the black community. And as they fixate on this diversion, they will often blame any and all crimes committed by a black person on the music. Always the music. In the past, the white community blamed jazz, claiming that it made people smoke marijuana. Then they had a jihad against rock and roll because it made young people sexually indulgent. And the last 25 years, white people have been bitching and moaning nonstop that rap music is the source of every type of crime on the planet. Their attention would be better focused on their own white community, however. Take the case of Eric Shute, a triple murderer, for example. This guy murdered 3 people over firewood. And don't be shocked. White-on-white crime happens for good reason, little reason, or no reason whatsoever. Shute was the lead singer for a band called Pyresia. Their genre of music is called death metal. Death metal. Well, who could have seen this one coming? And no, the white media hasn't asked a single question about whether the music this guy indulged in had anything to do with his crimes. He's white, so white culture never gets brought into the equation. People might start thinking this was pathological or something. According to a since-deleted Facebook post by Shute himself, he claimed that the killings were in self-defense. Ah, the all-purpose white killer's excuse, never commit a triple homicide without it. And that the victims stole $20,000 worth of stuff for drugs. Shute declared himself a sovereign citizen. And yes, I could go in on some of the less informed among us who want black people to buy into this con, but sovereign citizens usually find themselves prisoners of the state. And isn't it interesting that these people don't start trying to declare themselves non-U.S. citizens until after they've had a bunch of brushes with the law? Now, many in the white community will try the deflection of, how are we to know that this guy would turn out to be a killer? Well, here's your first clue. In 2011, Shute was indicted by a grand jury for attacking a cop and resisting arrest. But he's white. So, you know how this one went down. White legal immunity kicked in, and that aggravated assault charge got knocked down to a fine with no jail time. Now, as an aside, the white supremacist arm called law enforcement has been utterly exposed in the last 2 years. Their pathetic attempts to get sympathy with the public have utterly failed, so now the white police unions are going to the state legislatures and trying to get them to give the police legal authority to accuse you of a crime and arrest you based solely on the word of a cop with no evidence at all. That's what this whole nonsense about police hate crimes crap is about. It's doubling down on stupid. But you'll notice these white cops aren't concerned about the white guys who assault cops. They certainly weren't concerned about George Mad Dog Zimmerman when he assaulted a cop in 2005. But the black victims of police murder, well, somebody's got to protect the cops. Now, if Shute had gone to jail for the felony he committed in 2011, he most likely wouldn't have had a gun, and those 3 white victims would still be alive today. But white privilege is the prize that the Europeans slaughtered entire nations of innocent people for. So as far as they're concerned, it's just the price of doing business. And yet again, one has to wonder, when is the white media going to start saying the phrase white-on-white crime? When will the white population start saying white-on-white crime? Or are they going to continue to allow the internal genocide, the self-inflicted genocide of white-on-white crime to continue unabated while they focus on the black community that doesn't even concern them in the first place?